Hi kids, let's talk about Housefire. So I wrote Housefire the old-fashioned way, like one instrument, one session, like literally in bed. And I wrote it about the feelings of anxiety or a panic attack when you just feel like you're on fire and you need to just leave your body. Using the metaphor of a house fire, like needing to get out. And the simplest and also the most difficult part about the song is it's the same two power chords over and over and over. Which is great because it's easy to play, but in the aspect of production, it's really easy for it to get stale and monotonous. So it was really important to me to create a lot of variation within that simple arrangement. And like, I mean, the whole backbone of the song is based upon, well, let me just show you. Okay, so I recorded this yesterday, but I didn't film it because I was in a little bit of a rush. I had to get to a video shoot. But it's this super simple, for this song I wrote a couple days ago called Housefire. I also recorded like these little... And that's all on this Taylor, just so I can cross my legs. I always have to cross my legs to play guitar. Favorite things to do when I have some of the elements of the song like coming together. I'll just pull up like random instruments that I'm hearing in my head, kind of improvise. I just want to add some program drums. I want to add another electric guitar playing... Oh, Jesus. I want to add another electric guitar playing the syncopated part. A bit more treble. Good for like lots of distortion. I'm gonna do the melodic parts with this. I have the same melodic part recorded on almost every other guitar. Okay. Epiphone Les Paul and this orange Thunderbird 50 head that's direct input into my ear. I'm just gonna knock the f***ing trash over. I'm gonna put myself right back to it. A little more. I like it. Stuck. I just want to mess around in the first like 4 bars of the song, just have some weird little ad-libs to intro. The backbone of the song is based around those 2 acoustic guitars, especially the Taylor. And the way the Taylor was recorded is really integral to the sound of just like the overall vibe of the song. And there's 2 reasons for that. One, I used this thing called what is it called? It's called a Babolat Vibrakill, and it's meant to be used as a tennis racket devibrator. but it has 6 little grooves in it, and the spacing between them is perfect to fit over the strings of an acoustic guitar as like a pseudo rubber bridge, which is a like few $100 modification that's non-removable. And this little piece of plastic is $12, and you can take it on and off as you please. Second is the recording technique. So I used 2 different mics. First was the Sterling Audio passive ribbon mic and the tried and true SM57. I had the ribbon mic right at the sound hole about 12 inches away, and then the 57 right at the 12th fret, like as close as I could possibly get it without hitting the guitar. And one microphone is panned all the way left, the other is panned all the way right, but with the same take, just on 2 different microphones. And if you're using 2 different microphones like I was, each recording is going to have a slightly different color, making each track a little bit different, or each side of the stereo mix a little bit different. Literally the entire method of recording that guitar track was inspired by an Audio Haze video, where he recreated, I think it was Garden Song by Phoebe Bridgers, and the way all of the guitars were recorded and mixed for this song is kind of reminiscent or inspired by that. And there is one guitar part that I did leave out and didn't film myself recording it, and it's on this 12 string, and it's literally the same power chords as the rest of the song. G7. I think there's over 200 tracks in this song, and almost half of them are just vocals, because there's so many layers and so many like dense stacks, and all of the backing vocals, like all the oohs and ahs and choir sounding parts, they're all every part is recorded at least 4 times. Some of the melody parts are recorded 8. So I'm getting the Rainbow Wheel of Doom and the dreaded system overload warning like every 5 minutes, because my CPU is fighting for its life. That's about it. I really thought this was going to be a lot more complicated to explain, but I mean, like I said before, it's a fairly simple song. It's like the same 2 power chords over and over and over with some variation added in there. Thank God for Katrina. Thank God for 9/11. 9/11. You can stop God. You'll see what he's got. 9/11. You ain't God. I've been gooning over that video lately. So I guess I'll just play through the song and talk about it. I recommend watching this part of the video with headphones on, so you can hear the nuances and the panning. So, I mean, the first thing you hear in this song is the storm, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tracks, all stacked on each other, some panned hard right, some panned hard left. And for the Taylor, you saw how I showed you how I recorded it before, and really I just took the low end off, a little bit of the high end, and then there's like a decent compressor on it that really all it's doing is making it a bit boomier. It just gives it a bit more power. And these backing vocals, how many tracks is that? Okay, there's 4 different parts. Each part is recorded 4 times. Oh my God, my CPU is fighting for its life right now. Oh, there are a couple synths in here too. Just the tremolo and the piano, and then there is this little like drone kind of thing. Tremolo is almost all the way right, piano's halfway left, drone is like right in the center, with that tremolo on it that's bouncing it right and left. Every 2 bars, it's bouncing between right and left, and then there's another tremolo on it. Every 16th note, it's bouncing between right and left, but the depth is only at 38%. This is what it would sound like with no tremolo. This is what it sounds like with the tremolo. In the intro, there's this hidden little, like, I'm calling it an evil laugh, which it's literally just a clip of me cackling like a lunatic. And then I put a huge reverb on it and only used the wet channel. So then it just sounds super eerie and distant. And it's like super low in the mix. So if I didn't tell you about it right now, you might not have ever even noticed it. I'm always trying to do that. I'm always trying to hide stuff. There's a lot of little hidden parts in this song. But you put all of these things together and it's like the perfect type of spookiness that just brings me so much excitement. So the first verse is really just a single vocal track. What's on these vocals? Jesus Christ. Oh, okay. Okay, so I don't know what happened. Let me just play you the raw vocal track and you'll see what I... There's something in me that's unaccounted for. You hear how dark and boomy and gross that is? I don't know if I forgot to put the high pass filter on the microphone when I was recording, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 separate EQs I had to put on this just to make it not like it's coming out of a dark cave to get it to sound like this. There's something in me that's unaccounted for. And now by comparison, that seems very limp and lifeless, but in the context of the whole song, it makes sense. But yeah, it's just the one vocal track in the Taylor pretty much. Oh, there's also a little synth in there. So that synth is almost all the way to the left, vocal right in the center, and then each mic of the Taylor hard panned left and right. There's also a couple little like guitar swells and stuff in here, but that's pretty much it for the first verse. Obviously the big thing here is the guitars, which starts with the Taylor really low in the mix, so it just provides that like rhythmic support underneath. And then we have the Washburn and the Epiphone playing pretty much the same thing. Washburn all the way to the left, Epiphone halfway on the right. And then the Gibson's almost perfectly in the center. There's also quite a few synths in this part too. Drone in the middle, tremolo to the right, piano to the left. I love this one. It's so cute and small. But for all of the guitars, especially for the electric guitars, there's just the Logic stock chorus plugin on it. I think there's a little bit, there's a little bit of saturation on some of them. And they're all sent to two different buses. There's a distortion bus and a reverb bus. And I believe the vocals are also sent to the same... Yeah, the vocals are sent to the same reverb and distortion buses. Because one, you should always send a reverb to a bus. Two, I wanted to add that little bit of grit, but not have like the full effect of like crazy digital distortion on there. So baby, we bussin'. Is that what the kids say? That's also where the bass comes in. That's on that Fender Jazz bass that's right behind me. I showed you how I recorded the Taylor. The Washburn I recorded the same way, but just with one microphone. And all of the electric guitars I did direct input from the Orange Thunderverb head. This is the dry guitar track. So the effects are just adding a bit more grit and oomph to it, but the character of the sound is already there. And that's the same way I recorded the bass, but with that, can you even see it? On the other side of the speaker, there's an Ampeg bass head that I used. Same way, direct input. I hate miking amps. I shouldn't say I hate it, because I do like miking amps when miking amps is what I want to do. That's like saying I only smoke when I drink, but I drink all the time. This is not the video for that conversation. We have these Linn drums, first of all, which are very obviously synthesized, and then the live drums added on top, which just kind of bring the energy back into it. Oh, and then the Storm comes back in as like a pseudo transition kind of element, and then it just goes back down to the Linn drums for the second verse because I wanted to capitalize on that like electronic feel, and then bring back the live drums in the more bombastic parts of the song. So this is one of my favorite parts of the song. I'm just obsessed with this whistle. I think it sounds so cool. And in the guitars, there's all these like little poly rhythms and counter melodies and stuff going on. So we got the Taylor business as usual, the Washburn almost all the way to the right, and then the Gibson playing that same melody but like muted and staccato. This is where we also see the 12-string come in for the first time, all the way on the left, Washburn on the right. There's something really cool happening with the drums right here, where there's this automated reverb and tremolo. And while that's happening, the program drums are still playing like a straightforward rhythm. So it just adds this like bounciness in there, and you can barely hear it in the mix either. Chorus is pretty much the same mixing as like the instrumental breakdown parts, but except for the Gibson. There's also all these little like ad-libs and whisper parts that you might not notice. Oh, and then the screams. The screams! So, literally, this is me standing in this room, screaming bloody murder. I had to message my family and be like, hey, just so you know, I'm gonna be screaming for the next couple of minutes. I'm not in pain, I'm not in danger, I just gotta be screaming. And they're like, we don't fucking care what you do. But this is the blood-curdling raw track. Oh my god, who will play her? I hate it, I hate it. Then you just let that wet reverb work its magic. There's a lot of vocal backing tracks and ad-libs, and even just as far as the lead vocal goes, we have the lead track, we have everything doubled, and then we have all of the harmonies. All of the harmonies are doubled, and then we have all of the backups, which is like the oohs and the ahs and stuff, and then all of the ad-libs, which just in the last chorus is all of these. So that's a ridiculous amount of vocal tracks, and that's what makes it sound like a choir.